You're a Benz kind of guy, and she's a Corolla. She goes out to nightclubs, she drinks, she parties, she's covered in tattoos, right? She's a fucking Corolla. A wise man said to me many years ago, he said, Rich, you're going to have to dig through a lot of dirt to find gold when it comes to women. Just because a woman doesn't like something, just because she wants you to stop doing something, or just because she asks you to give her something like a commitment, for example, doesn't mean that you do it.
I've been seeing this girl that I met at one of my jobs. I work in a bar on the weekends.
Right.
And I've been seeing this girl for about 3 months, and it started off as casual. And the other week she had this, she wanted to meet up to have the Where Do We Stand talk.
Yeah.
And she came with like bags on her eyes, like all stressed out and stuff like that. And basically she wanted to know if I just saw her as casual.
Okay.
And I was kind of, trying to sugarcoat it a little bit. And, but in all reality, like I was raised Eastern European household, like traditional values,
Yeah.
and a lot of that I didn't see in her. I saw a lot of like red flags. She's tatted up. I don't have one tattoo. She goes out to bars religiously, hangs with skimpy women, all that. I mean, the only positives is that she has a good relationship with her father. She's been relatively like easy to hang around. And so my question was, we talked about it and sort of, I left it out on it, like we'll chew on it kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, like I've seen her on dating apps, like as I've been around her or at my place of work, like she'll chat up other guys
Using
and
them
stuff
right
like that. Sorry?
Using them right in front of you?
It was only in the first month. It was like the second week.
Okay. So you're dating
and
she opens up a dating app like right in front of you.
Well, the notifications will pop up. She doesn't open it up, but it's sort of like, talking under the rug sort of thing.
Got it. Okay.
All right, so and then, sorry?
So what's the ask here?
When you're in a situation like that and you're sort of spinning the plate, so to say, what should be your next sort of call? Like, I know you sort of mentioned the concept of the revolving door.
Yeah.
Should I mention that concept? Should I just say like, okay, when we next convene?
So this is 3 months into dating?
I wouldn't even call it dating, to be honest. I would call it just casual interaction and sort of like a step above that.
Hooking up. Right? Are you taking her on dates? Like you going away somewhere with her? You buying her dinner?
Not dinner, but once in a blue moon, like we'll crack a beer. I'll meet her friends, but it's not, I don't call her a GF, so to say.
Yeah, got it. For something like 3 months in, the way that I would handle that is I'd acknowledge it. Like I'd validate her emotions and her feelings, because that's what you have to do with women, right? Like you kind of have to validate. Yeah, I get where you're coming from. Like I can see why you're asking that question, right? It's kind of cocky too, because then you're like, I know I'm fucking dope, and I can see why you're asking that question. But then you kind of go to something like, look, it's only been 3 months. I dig your vibe. You're fun. I'm not really looking to rush into anything right now. That may change later. Let's just keep it going. If that's what you want to do, right? Now, if you see her as girlfriend material, I would kind of put it off a little bit longer still. But if you see her as girlfriend material, which you don't in this case, so just using another example, because she's tatted up and you see some red flags. But if you see her as girlfriend material, that's when you would sort of like evaluate her and be like, look, I dig your vibe too. And, maybe I could see this becoming a little more, like a little closer, maybe a little more permanent sort of thing. But here's the thing. I can't take a woman seriously that does. And then you insert whatever things that she's doing, like undesirable behavior, like going out partying and drinking all the time, or, she wants to go away once a month with her friends to Vegas for a weekend or something like that.
So part of that story, Rich, she did mention in that conversation, which I never heard before, that she had an ex that basically was like introvert for 4 years and, didn't go out all that much. She said the most that she went out was to her ex's cousin's house to watch TV.
Okay.
So I think she's sort of in that rebellious phase and, like you said, party girl phase.
Yeah.
And she said she may or may not, so most likely be willing to change that. And I just, men and women are different.
Thing,
like
women will change for a guy that she's strongly attracted to, right? I don't know if you've read my book.
No, not yet, but I've read the red flags chapter.
Yeah. So grab the book. It's like $10, dude. Like it's worth its weight in gold for sure. So like there's a chapter in the book that talks about genuine burning desire. Women will change. Women will adapt if they find you very attractive. If they have genuine burning desire for you. Okay? They won't do any of the dumb shit. They won't even think about doing the dumb shit because they know that they can't afford to do it because they've got a guy because they've got the guy that they want. The only time women protest and push back and it's like, like you're really insecure or you have control issues or something like that. Like, why are you behaving this way? Trying to tell me what to do and where I can and can't go. And it's just very simple. Like that's more of a shit test to see what you're all about. A woman that sees you as her absolute best option won't even argue with you. Like you'll just say something like, I just really can't take a girl seriously or invite her in my life as a girlfriend and love her and want to protect her and do things with her if she's the kind of gal that likes to go out drinking every weekend. That's not what I'm looking for, right? And then a girl that really likes you be like, "Oh, I don't have to do that then. Cool, no problem. I'll stop." Right? If she
Right.
starts doing the, "Oh, well, why are you so controlling? Why are you so insecure? It's just we're just going out dancing." Like that's a really funny one that women always say. "Oh, we're just going out dancing." It's like, bitch, if you wanted to dance, you would dance in your fucking living room. You're getting dressed up to get guys' attention, right? So it's like,
And we did talk about the bars, and she did say that like it's to meet with the girls and all
yeah,
that. But then
bullshit.
I was sort of exactly it's cap because it's like, well, there's other men there, so why don't you go
Yeah.
to, you know?
Yeah, like they'll make up all this nonsense. And the point being is that the more that she's going to argue with you, the more that she's going to point and sputter at you and make up things like, "Oh, you're insecure, you're controlling, why you like that, you're such a misogynist," like soundbites like that. I wouldn't even argue and debate with her. Just say, "Look, that's just the way that I roll. If that's a problem for you, then I'm not the guy for you."
So exactly, and I
But
didn't
that's
hear
if
any of that.
she's the
I
kind of
didn't
girl
hear
that
any.
you like. But I think I heard you say that she's not the kind of girl that would be girlfriend material. She's got too many red flags. She's covered in tattoos.
Right, it's like me trying to like buy a Toyota Corolla, and I know I like the Benz. Like, why would
Yeah.
I buy it and then modify it? It's like I know from the get go
Perfect.
that.
Perfect. She's not a Benz. You're a Benz kind of guy, and she's a Corolla, right? She goes out to nightclubs, she drinks, she parties, she's covered in tattoos, right? She's a fucking Corolla. You've identified that she's a Corolla. I would just tell her, say, "Look, it's kind of fun hanging out with you, and I like that, but I can't take you seriously. Like I'm not looking for a girlfriend. You're like, this isn't going to turn into a relationship. And if she wants to keep seeing you and hanging out and banging or whatever, fine, whatever. It's already started. But it is what it is, dude. Take a look in the mirror. You're fucking Chad. You look tall. You're good looking. You're jacked. I can
I'm
see
not
that you're
tall. I'm
fit.
5'10", but I'm decently tall.
You look decently tall. You look like you're in good shape. You're a good looking guy. You're in the top fucking shelf when it comes to the attraction aspect of what women look for. Money might be something that you have to work on, captivation, your level of influence and your social network. Maybe you have to work on that. We have a great community for that, by the way. If you're not in it, you should get in it because that's where we help guys develop those skills and network and come out to events and meet other guys that are sort of like that, help them make more money, get them more influential. We do all that, with our community guys. So that's something that you probably want to contemplate. But it's an interesting spot that you're in because you're dealing with a gal that's asking for a commitment. You don't really see her as commitment material. Good, you've learned that. Now you know how to deal with a girl that is commitment type of material. That's all that you have to do, man. It's like you just have to sort the wheat from the chaff. A wise man said to me many years ago, he said, "Rich, you're going to have to dig through a lot of dirt to find gold when it comes to women." And I'm not trying to disparage women and say that they're dirt, but there's a lot of Corollas out there. And if you're a Benz kind of guy, then get a Benz.
So what you're saying is leaning towards erring on the side of like cutting things off,
No, I mean,
or
you
you're
can cut her
saying
off
I
if
should
you
try to
want.
keep the fire burning, and if there's disrespect or
Don't don't string her along, but I would just let her know, say, "Look, I'm not looking for a relationship with you. I'm having fun. If you are, I'm having a good time. If you are, the sex is great. If it is, if you want to continue, hanging out, let's do that." But I would also say this too. I don't want the well poisoned. So you're not allowed to sleep with other guys, right? Because the last thing you want to do is get an STD or some shit.
and that's my main issue because that to me that's just a mental thing. Like if I know someone's been there, or even like emotional cheating, like when they like even chat with someone but they haven't
Yeah.
done anything physical, like even to me that's just like I would want to ignore someone completely, but I'm not the type of person to like ghost and stuff like that. But I'll just ignore,
Yeah.
as a last resort.
Just because a woman doesn't like something, just because she wants you to stop doing something, or just because she asks you to give her something like a commitment, for example, doesn't mean that you do it. Sometimes the very things that women want ask for or want you to stop doing are actually good for her and the kind of relationship that you're building. Okay. That's that's a notion of frame. That's a notion of leading the relationship. That's what that boils down to. And when you do that properly with some authority and firmness, and you're okay to walk away. She doesn't like it, fine. The door's over there. Don't let it hit you on the ass on the way out. It's cool. No problem. Right? Because you can easily replace her. You're probably it's probably easier for you to replace her. Like, it's easier for you to replace a Toyota Corolla. You know what I'm saying? Than it is to replace a Benz. And you've clearly identified that she's not the Benz. She's a Corolla. So let her know I see you as a Corolla. I mean, don't tell her that obviously. Don't compare her to a Benz or a Corolla, but just let her know, like, this is where I see us, and that's where it's going to stay, and that probably won't change. And if you want to keep seeing me, I just need to be clear about something. I'm not going to have you poison the well. So don't be seeing other guys. If I find out about it, that's it. We're done. All right, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.